we're going to have to remove this upper deck piece, which actually has 4 screws here, here, and here on the passenger side. Also, the same number of screws on the other side, and we're going to remove this upper deck underneath panel. So I'm going to start on the passenger side and use the standard 35 torque. All screws, all 8 of them are removed. You can see it's loose. Now the instructions tell you to push this up in there, but until I know how you're supposed to pry down up here, we're going to try and see how this comes loose. But be careful and not let this drop down and tear this plug off. So we're going to carefully, I'm not going to push it up there until I see how this thing comes loose. Go here and there. Okay, and see, we didn't, we still are okay with this. So just a little pressure and it will come down. Now we got to make sure we don't mess this up, so we just pop her right there. And now we're going to remove that. Now we're going to remove this panel. Just to help you, you're going to have to change your T35 torque bit to a T25 torque bit. Now all 8 of the torque screws are out, and now I've got to pull out these push pins. And the way this works, when you see a push pin, use a sharp tip screwdriver, and you just simply go into the center cap and kind of press on it and pull until it pulls out. And you do the others. You can kind of twist and pull. Now we've got it to a good point where we've got our back sloping panel down to where we can drill through it safely, and you still have to mount a upper assembly brace here, and we have to put one down here that's going to mount through these holes that are drill through here. So our big deal next would be to drill this, and we've got a little bit of work we've got to do. We've got to loosen this bracket up that holds the fuel tank. There is the 15mm bolt that holds the fuel tank strap in place. We must loosen that in order to get some tie wraps around this. Now the instructions say to loosen this until you can wiggle it, and we have enough room to pass a tie wrap behind this bracket. So I'm going to hold on to it and loosen. Okay. I need my cheater bar. Sometimes you have to use brute force. Okay. Okay, now you see I can wiggle, I can get tie wraps down on this side and this side. Okay, we're going to do a step that we probably should have done before. And they're working on getting this instruction of drilling the holes in this sloping back panel before we get to the next stage of aligning the top assembly bracket and the middle assembly brace rather. So what we want to do is to drill the holes, get you a piece of wood and line it up so that you have a piece of wood behind to drill through to without just running your drill all the way through, because we're going to push it up against the gas tank a little bit here. And we're going to hold her in place, and I'm going to hold her there. Now, this will give us a little insurance, see? I'm going to hold her there, and I'm going to drill the top hole. There's a hole, here's a hole, and there's the third hole, fourth hole. So let's go. This is a 5/16. We're going to over drill it from the 1/4 inch just to give us a little more leeway. And we just kind of drill. Okay, we're into the wood. Folks, it's important you don't drill into that gas tank. So you want to drill into some wood. Even if you have to tape the piece of wood on the back, get a bigger piece. I'm going to leave that to you, how you want to do it. Just do not drill into this. Have something behind it to stop you. Okay? So, now we're going to go to the next one. And I'm in line. I'm going to go and do the next hole down. And I'm pulling down on it a little bit. Okay, I'm through into the wood. Is that easy or what? Now we're ready to go to the next step, which we're going to try to line up the top assembly brace, and it has to be mounted to this, so we need to know where does that center screw need to mount. We need an easy way to do that, and I think I've added something to this. I'm going to use my favorite material, Velcro, to help us with this lining up. Now folks, this is the top assembly brace. The middle assembly brace is easy to mark. It's right in there. But the top is a little more difficult to align because it's only one hole. I've got Velcro, and you got two pieces. The one piece is glued on, the other is stuck to it, and this is the sticky side of the Velcro that when I push this back into position, it should stick to the place that it needs to be to mark that center hole. So this is the only way I can find that's easy to find that point. So we're going to try it and see how it works. Okay, I have to mount this with a few screws, push it in, and also I'm not going to push it up. A nut on the back of that to tighten it up. So this is nice and tight, and it's the equal distance as I could get. That's not important. The center screw slot is the important thing, up and down, left and right. We're going to Velcro this to this point. So let's try it and see what we got. Now I'm going to carefully put this up in position using a screw over here, not to stick this to that until I'm ready. So I'm going to align here and screw this screw in. Okay, now we're still not stuck yet. We're going to go over to the other side, and matter of fact, I'll put another screw in down here to get it square. As you see, we're pretty well lined up with that brace, and we're hoping that this brace will stick somewhere in there, that when we pull this thing down, our top assembly brace will be in position and line up. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move this part up and see how we do. So let me try it. Okay, now I'm going to push this side up and secure it in position with a couple of screws. Now we're going to put a screw here. Let me get it. All right, we're going to put one more in so that we can secure this down. Now, we're going to push in on this, and if you look carefully through there, you can see our top brace is probably right in position that it needs to be, and you do, let's see, we push hard. Okay, now I need to loosen this screw so that we can, it doesn't pull it away. Is loosening this screw over here so that the bracket can stay in position and not move. Okay, the Velcro, yes, it's holding it in position. Now, we're going to remove these screws, and if you'll notice, look at that. It's perfect. Perfect. Okay. Now, we don't want to disturb this, so we want to remove these screws carefully. Now, while holding the panel in the center, unscrew the other screws. Now, you don't want to pull this away from its position. So I'm holding to the center, and if you have an assistant, this might work good. To hold it there, then unscrew these. I already unscrewed the other side, so hold her in position, and we want to carefully pull this loose so that we don't upset our connection. There. It's in the proper position. The screw is lined up with the hole that is supposed to, and is stuck by Velcro. That is the secret. I'll pass that on to them. That's probably the best way to ensure that you get that screw lined up properly. Now, we're going to put this tie wrap down through there. We're going to feed it through using the screwdriver, pull it out the other side, and then strap it down. Don't make a mistake of getting it incorrectly positioned. The flat side is the way you want it to go in so that you can come up. So get the flat side facing out, then press in here and try to wiggle this thing into position. Let's see, we are going to have to kind of push. May have to loosen up a little bit over there still. You have to loosen it quite a bit till it's really loose. Even more might work better, but get a screwdriver in here and push, pry, and then push in there. and keep pushing until you get this thing to go down through there. There. Push hard, and there it's going, and I keep prying, and here it comes. Okay, get behind the brace and pull. Get back under there. Push. There. There's where I need to be. Okay, you place the middle brace here, and now we're going to move this up and line this hole with the top brace hole, and then we're going to screw everything together and see how it works. Okay, so I just kind of go, there she is. Now what we do is once we've got this hole aligned, then we try to get some screws in this thing. Okay, get her careful. This is flexible, so it'll move. Now we're going to get another one over here. Line it up. Screw her down. Okay, now we kind of push those in, and everything should be aligned correctly. And I'm going to get another one down here, and you can kind of push and bend this a little bit to get it lined up. Okay, this hole has to be 3/8 because the wire connector will not go through at, I think we did it at 5/16. So this hole has to be 3/8. I've got a way, if you ended up putting this up ahead of time, there's a way to drill without removing it, and that is to take a piece of stock wood, put it right down through here, and if you notice, I can see when my wood is behind it, protecting the gas tank, so I can now drill 3/8 and safely do it without compromising the tank. So we're gonna do that. Got my 3/8 bit, and there's the hole, and I'm totally lined up and safe to drill with it up in this position. So I can simply push here, and I've got it. So I just pull this back out. So, you know, you could even make it a little shorter, but that fits in just right. Okay, now we got our hole 3/8. Now the connector will fit in there